Hey, you guys, it's Audrey with Changing Tides Energy, day 25 of coming back to you. I'm super excited. It's been a really gray day and it's almost 8 o'clock at night. But look, the light is out and it's so pretty on the trees. So we're going to follow the light and go for this little walk. And today I'm super excited to share with you guys. One of the big reasons that I needed to do this series was to get clear in my body. So today we're going to talk about what that means and why that's important, and how if you have blocks in your physical body, it can block you from your spiritual evolution. That may sound crazy, but the truth is, if we're carrying around a bunch of extra garbage within our body, and garbage may not be the right word, but well, maybe it is. we'll we'll dive into it. But first, oh, there's the boat. Everything always looks different at low tide, and sometimes it looks like the boat is in a different spot. And honestly, if a storm comes, sometimes it is in a different spot. Where we have it on anchor right here, it's kind of a hole. So even when it does get really stormy, it does just kind of end up sitting in one spot. I can't climb up the hole on the other side. So we've been here all winter on the coast of the Alaska wilderness, and it has definitely been stormy at times. Pretty big winds come in here. A little breeze right now, actually. A little breezy. I didn't wear a hat, but I'll be all right. So beautiful. So part of my story that I haven't really shared with you guys, I might have brought it up a little bit, but I did bring it up a little bit. I would just say I've experienced disordered eating for pretty much my entire life. And with that came a lot of yo-yoing and up and down and trying to get clear in my body, um, so I could live the best life that I could live. Of course, for most of my life. Oh my gosh, look. Aw, sun. Ah, feels good. I can't actually feel the sun, but just the brightness through the trees like that, having to squint my eyes. Wow, the sun is high in the sky. It's so much higher than it has been. This is exciting. Alaska spring is a time that can feel, I'm spinning right now, squirrel brain, but that's okay. The Alaska spring is a really exciting time because the light comes back, and it's been a dark winter, right? And the light brings energy and clarity and healing. I'm actually going to walk on the beach, see how far we can make it. Depends on how low the tide is. But, um, so, and I also I've alluded to the very stressful childhood that I had a few times, but it taught me so much. And oh my gosh, there's so many crows over there. They're gonna freak out when I go over there. It's gonna be pretty. Um, Gosh, I'm so glad I came out on this walk with you guys. Here they go. They're like, "Lady, you messing up our dinner time." But that's okay. Um, so anyway, I used exercise growing up a lot for stress relief, and it was super helpful. And I'm really grateful that I taught myself that, because for most of my life since then, I've known that about myself. Like, that's how you can choose your challenge, like I've been talking about, and just really increase your overall health and well-being. This is where I am. It's so crazy walking in places like this because this is usually underwater. Obviously, look at the seaweed. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. One more little look around that mountain right there. It's a great hike. It's a 9-mile hike. You start at one end and you end up at the other, and you climb that ridge. Well, you're on the ridge for at least about 3.5 of those miles. Um, and it's pretty amazing to see the view. You can see 3 different bays from up there. And yeah, lots of good adventures up there to be had and that have already been had. So anyhow, physical health, exercise and movement, just a natural stress reliever. And I'm grateful that I've just always been aware of that for my body. I understand. Well, and also I'll just say my natural state of being is if I were to eat whatever, um, oh, starfish. Um, if I were to eat whatever I wanted to all the time, then I would, actually, I'm going to show you. Then I kind of like balloon up a little bit. Like I just get really inflamed and kind of like oompa loompa-y. Um, and it doesn't feel good in my body. Oh my gosh, this is such a cute little one. Look at it. It's so like dark purple. Can you see it? Can I get better lighting? There you go. Starfish. Put him back where he was. Um, so the reality is like a big part of my career had always been like 20 years of helping people with their health, and eventually that turned into helping people in their bodies because oh my gosh, look at this, because so purple, um, helping people in their bodies because the reality is so much of what we struggle with. And so I was a nurse for 20 years, 16 years. And what I've learned during that time was so much of everything that we do or that we suffer with in our, look at this one. He's so green. So cool. So much of what we suffer with is preventable. And you may be experiencing that. You may have experienced that. And I'm just going to say right now, it's not your fault. Like the way that we value health and the way that you have to work so hard not to be poisoned by the food industry. It was not, I sound dramatic, but if you know, you know. Anyway, if you want to chat more about that, let me know because it is a fascinating conversation that will take up way too much of my time for this video right now, but it really is amazing what you can do with awareness around your food and not like in a weird controlling way. Anyhow, I digress again and again and again. But my point is the way that my body is, I have to treat it really, really well in order to stay healthy. And if I don't stay healthy physically, what I've noticed is it really impacts my mental health. And getting back to the point of this video and this series was my mental health was obviously suffering after my brother died by suicide. And I this one might be hard to get out, but I want to show you. Sorry, little guy. Oh, you're under the rock. I'm not going to be able to. No, just stretch him out. I'll show you from here. He's orange, kind of. That's cool. I haven't seen one that color. So, whatever physical state, I have just had a huge journey in my life of physical variations. And whatever physical state I've been in, if it has not been in alignment with my health, my physical health, I've noticed it definitely impacts my mental health. And what that means is I do feel more blocked in my energetic abilities to receive messages and my energetic abilities to be able to connect with others. Um, if I'm not feeling in alignment with myself, then how am I going to be an open vessel for spirit? So, something that I've noticed when working with clients over the years is a certified integrative nutrition coach and um, specialties on nutrition and hormones, which we're all impacted by. But anyhow, the reason I started talking about my experience within my body is because I just want you to know that I get it. Like, I understand the challenges. In fact, that's why one of the big reasons I started this series was recommitting to my health and myself. And it's been super helpful. In the last 24, 25 days, I have exercised probably more than I did all winter, which isn't saying much. But the big thing that I've noticed is that I have cut out gluten and dairy, minus one dairy dinner, which was yummy. Thank you. If you're listening, Robin, I appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys again soon. But anyway, I have noticed a significant difference in my inflammation. My joints don't hurt. I feel like myself again. I don't feel like I have a blanket of puffiness. And I'm just really grateful for that. I feel more connected to myself. I've also, besides the homemade kombucha that I make and drink, I've also given up all added sugar, which has been really helpful as well. So when we fill our bodies with energy that our body is not designed to receive, then it can block our mental and emotional and spiritual processes quite significantly. And honestly, eating as close to the source of food that you can possible is absolutely the best thing to do. It's very, very hard. I know that. I've lived in the remote Alaska wilderness for a year. I've lived with a partner who hunts for 2 years. But before that, I was shopping at Costco, and I mean, I still shop at Costco some, but I was shopping at Costco and the local grocery store, looking at the labels and wondering what the heck are they putting in this food, right? And that I needed to survive and to feed my family. And so I get it. Like, I know. I know it seems like I don't have to worry about that, but it has been a journey. And the reality is that when we take that time to ensure that the ingredients going in our body we can at least pronounce, we at least know what the words are, there aren't any dyes or fillers or partially hydrogenated oils, or I mean, the list really goes on. And again, I'm happy to share that with you. If you'd like to have a nutrition chat, just let me know. Or a physical fitness chat, just let me know. It's an area that I've coached in for over a decade. And now my focus primarily is connecting. Well, what I noticed, I'll say, is when working with people, if they weren't able to connect with the root, with what's underneath, with what potentially caused the imbalances or the mindset shifts or the beliefs, or just the lack of desire to come into clarity and come into peace. Like, you have to have a desire. You have to get to a spot of discomfort where you're just like ready. Oh my gosh, this little guys. Okay, so I'm literally under a cliff right now. Woo! This is a cliff jumping cliff, a high tide. I've not actually jumped off of it yet, but I will this summer. But oh gosh, I haven't seen this many starfish in a while. I don't know if you'll be able to take a look at this one, but it's blue and beautiful. And then we have this red guy over here just hanging out all sprawled out. Look at all the mussels and barnacles. Mussels are delicious, by the way. We got stranded on a beach because the boat got stranded on those last eclipse. I still need to share a video about that. But Scott took so much footage that I don't even know how to go through it all. Anyway, he needs to give me access, that's how. But it's so much. Anyhow, we got stranded on the beach and it was dinner time, so we picked a bunch of mussels and boiled them up over a fire, and it's quite delicious. Um, just a little distracted because I came around the corner. And I'm like, okay, to get back to the cabin, you walk up there and then you go up to the beach. And I'm just really enjoying this walk right now. So I think I'm going to go back the way that I came. And you guys can have a little reverse view. And I will try to tie together all my points here about health and spirituality. So I guess what I'm saying is I know it's hard. And I know for myself that if I'm not in alignment within my own body, then it's really difficult to get into alignment in a spiritual sense. And that may not be everyone's experience. But have you tried? Have you tried fasting before? One of the most spiritual things I've experienced is doing 72-hour fast. And I've done that 2 or 3 times in the last few years. And really an excellent way to reset. If you're a sugar burner instead of a fat burner, meaning you're constantly craving carbs and constantly craving sugar and stuff like that, then this is the fast for you. Obviously, talk to your doctor before you do anything because it can be kind of extreme. But if you're in decent health, it's not, anything too crazy. After 72 hours, the hormones shift in our body to decrease the release of, I believe it's the hormone lutein, which increases your appetite, makes you want to eat more, makes you think that you're hungry all the time and stuff like that. So anyway, that's an excellent reset. It sounds a little extreme, but it is. And then the key is after you do that, not to just go grab a bag of potato chips or whatever. It's to have a plan and to stick with a clean diet as much as possible. So obviously drinking lots of water, hopefully clean water. I know city water is like, really common for most people, right? City or well. If you're on city water and you're worried about the quality, you can get a Berkey. They're kind of expensive, but they will take out all the junk and chemicals that is put into our water system. So hydrating, detoxing, what's natural ways to detox? Fruit, vegetables, different herbs, teas, that sort of thing. And then high fiber diet, if you eat grains, then, I'm just going to say it. Gluten in America is poison. If you go to Europe and eat it, it's much better. Like, people who have celiac disease in America don't have celiac disease when they go to Europe. I've heard that so many times. And it's just because of the over processing that we do to try to break everything down, to try to make it more inexpensive or whatever. I don't know. It's definitely not with health in mind. So, well, yeah, it definitely increases the utilization of the healthcare system, the way that the food is processed and provided for us. So if you could just go gluten-free, even if you don't think you have a problem with gluten, I think you might be surprised. And it may sound really hard, but there's so many alternatives, and honestly, our body doesn't even need that. But anyway, gosh, I'm all hyped up about nutrition today and exercise, and I think it's just because I'm feeling good and grateful to feel like I'm back in my body. I'm reconnected. Day 25. What do they say? It takes like 3 weeks to notice a change if you make a change. Well, I'm feeling it. My clothes are feeling better. I have more energy, have more mental clarity. I have less bad days or, anything like that. And one other thing I'll say is, I have not even talked about this yet, but I am, in a past time in my life, I knew I should get genetic testing for BRCA1 mutation, which is breast and ovarian cancer. And discovered I was positive, which wasn't really a shock to me. Look at these guys. They're so cute. And then this one is blue and red. Can I get it? Where is it? I can barely see it under the water. It's pretty. Jellyfish day. I mean, starfish day. I haven't seen them in quite a while, honestly. Anyway, so yeah, it takes about 3 weeks to really notice a change. And if you're in a position and you're thinking like, well, everything's fine, I just don't really care, like, it doesn't matter, but you're working to elevate spiritually, mentally, emotionally, then I just challenge you to evaluate where you're at in life, in your body. This body, we are not our body. This is not our body. We are visitors in this body. This is our meat suit. This is what we're here gifted to live this life. We all have different bodies. They're all shaped different. They all work differently. They all look differently. We get what we get. And learning your own individuality and what works for you is critical. But as far as optimizing our human experience in a spiritual realm, I'm just curious, are there any areas in your life that you feel like, oh, I wonder if I shifted that for a month. I wonder what that would look like. So a month may seem like a long time. And honestly, if you're not uncomfortable, then there's no, incentive or motivation to really change. So definitely not pushing anyone into discomfort. But I just think it's amazing how we can, show you where I'm walking because it's kind of tricky. I just think it's amazing how we can shift our experiences through how we take care of our bodies. And I'm just grateful for those reminders. And I wanted to share with you. So I'd love to hear from you guys if you've had this experience. Like, I've been on all spectrums. I've suffered with obesity, and I've had people think I was anorexic. Like, I've been on all spectrums. So for me, coming to a place of peace in my life and just identifying what feels good, what works for my body is really significant and powerful asset. Because, I did talk about this early on. I was like, what kind of fuel are you putting in your body? But anyway, I appreciate you guys being here on this journey and hope that you're inspired to do a little self-evaluation and maybe a little internal scrub, whatever that might look like for you. But thanks for tuning in, and I'm just so grateful for this series. It has truly brought me back to myself and just to feel energy again and creative inspiration and flow and less anxiety or fear and more clarity and more divine messages being received. I'm grateful. Thank you for sharing with me, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. I so appreciate the comments. So drop one in if you'd like to be part of the conversation. Take care.